Chris, with the term culture, it's become such a blanket term, but I want to bring it down to the civil rights movement because we are in the city of Atlanta, and Atlanta's favorite son, Dr. King, once said, all we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. The way I interpret that is with liberty and justice for all, that all men are created equal. When we think about the culture and the journey of the culture, that journey of equality and social justice still continues to this day. I covered John Lewis's funeral in Alabama from a multi-state standpoint, even here in Atlanta. Even talked to Andy Young right after, had a great conversation with him, and Bernard Lafayette, who's also a civil rights icon. One thing Bernard told me that really struck me is he said when he was a college roommate with John Lewis in Nashville, one question they had to ask themselves is, and a question I asked myself, what role do we play in the oppression that we're facing? For them, it was buying a bus fare to get on a bus that you had to go sit in the back of. When we take it to this generation, I want to ask you that same question. How are we contributing to our own oppression, right, from the landscape of media and storytelling, and how can we break free of that oppression? I know that was a long-winded question, but I wanted to draw, I wanted to draw a parallel between then and now because culture is all about then and now, right?
I think that the biggest takeaway, you're going to get me in some trouble on this interview, but I'm going to jump out the window anyway. I think the biggest here in Atlanta and the mind state, this is the most highest concentration of progressive Black people that I've ever encountered. And the thing that just reeks of it is they don't ask permission to do anything. And I think that mindset definitely translated into the music industry. I don't think that Atlanta would have been at the forefront of the music space had anybody chosen to ask for permission. I think that there was just a forward thinking, it's it or nothing approach to it. The same opportunities lie in the media space. There are far more layers creatively. It's a little bit more of an intrinsic process, but nonetheless, it's clearly doable. We have a phenomenal case study with Mr. Perry right down there in Southwest Atlanta. He is creating the content that he wants to make. He has found a distributor that understands how it works inside its ecosystem and its economic model, and he's able to own or co-own that content. But he didn't wait for permission. He did it, and he forced everybody's hand to come to him. One thing I have noticed a bit about Hollywood is that everybody likes to ask for permission. And if you ask, you will wait. And if you go, then they will have to catch up to you. And I think that that's the mind state. Same mind state that we had in the music industry is what we have to carry forward into the media space.
And Coach, I want to piggyback off that question and that answer that you just did. Coach, the biggest question a lot of people, a lot of content creators in the media and music space, they oftentimes ask is, why isn't Viacom here? Why isn't BET here? Why isn't MTV here? Even if they were here, would it be our table? I mean, is what you both are trying to do is build an adjacent table that is focused on ownership, where even if that table does come one day, we got something for ourselves too, right?
I mean, most definitely. I mean, because they are. I mean, TNT is right here. I mean, it's a big outlet here. But until someone steps up, and says, puts their feet in the ground, says, "This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to help, and I'm going to put on for my people in my city," then it's just going to be a lot of talk. I was just fed up. I'll be honest. I'm really fed up because, as Chris said earlier, they're coming here. And they're grabbing all our talent, right? And they're using all our resources, and they're getting tax credits. Why? I mean, I tell my hat to Tyler Perry. He saw it, had a vision, but it should be so many more. So while we have our hand on the pulse, and we have people listening, like we're diving all the way in. Because I feel like we have a big opportunity to do this, and a service to the people.
Mm-hmm.